Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while. Welcome to Secure Packet, and we're happy to be back. We're going to do the beginning to a two-part series since we've been gone for a while. I want to talk about recent Squatch happenings, and I'm glad you guys are with us.
Yep. Hey guys. You know, like you say, we don't do these regular, but when we got stuff to talk about, we talk, and we got some stuff happening. I guess, John, did you want to start off with the lawsuit and just give a quick update? It's not a whole lot, right?
No, yeah, so I'll go ahead and speak to that. Unfortunately, we left you guys with a cliffhanger that really didn't pan out to too much. This lady up in Crestline took the issue to the state and sued the state over their Bigfoot not being recognized as a species. And unfortunately, went to a lawyer, had a lawyer come to her and said that she really didn't have much of a case from what I'm reading and being told. So unfortunately, it kind of just fizzled out from the research. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, it was hey, a nice try. Maybe something like that works up in Canada. Where
No offense to Canadians.
no offense to Canadians, but our court system's a little different here. I'll leave it at that.
Especially in California.
Yeah. I mean, and not to say it won't work in the future. More power, to her. I believe she probably did see something out there. I mean, John, you've been up there. Is there black bears even up in the that area of the Cleveland National Forest? Or no, that's the San Bernardino National Forest. I'm sorry.
Yeah, San Bernardino, and I know that that's the highest concentration in the area of bear population.
Yeah.
They're starting to make their way down into the Cleveland and Palomar National Forest, but yeah, it's kind of a bummer that it ended up the way it did. But at least it's a start to get the ball rolling, where it's just coming into the mainstream and the limelight, which is a good thing. I think it really gets a start and a foot in the door, and who knows where that'll go in the future. But kind of a fizzle, bummer way to end it. But at the same time, not really, because at least she got that into the mainstream, and there's something that might come of it someday. But here again, just seeking the truth, and excited to see some recent happenings that we've been finding and sharing within the local community. So but yeah, back to that, the population up there, the bear, and the wildlife that supports our research on Bigfoot traveling with food source and water, it definitely lends a lot of credibility to her sighting and lawsuit. So
right. I think there was a lawsuit up in Washington State for basically the same thing, right? Did they ever get protected through that? I think maybe they did. Now I think about it.
Yeah, from what I remember, they did. It's been a while though, so I would have to look that up. It's been a while, but from what I remember, they had some sort of protection that came of that.
Right.
Based on hunting laws, it's been a while though.
But it's not the level. I think in Canada they're recognized as a species or something. It's not the level that Canada went to, but it's a start, and I think that's a good thing.
Exactly.
It probably tells us that not too far off, I really believe something's gonna come out maybe in the next 5 years or less. That
I agree.
Evidence. Yeah.
There's so much going on, news and cryptids and UFO news, that it really seems like a lot is ramping up as far as disclosure, whether that's from the government, from the feds, or state level. It just seems to be that I wouldn't doubt, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that on the evening news.
Right.
As far as disclosures go, so definitely an exciting time. Not necessarily the outcome we were hoping for, but as far as the lawsuit goes, but still a good a good foot in the door.
Yeah. And guys, we do have the ability to do field investigations. We just haven't done one in a while. And this will probably be one of the areas. I'm running the clip now as we're speaking. Um, and BFRO, they actually did an episode, or Finding Bigfoot did an episode up here. They didn't find anything as normal, but um,
Unfortunately.
but they probably never will because the show will be over as soon as they find one. That's my gut. But so, anyhow, I think it's a good area to go. Um, and just do some research because yeah, they're probably up there. I mean, it's pretty thick forested area and it ranges very high. I mean, you're talking 10,000 plus,
Yeah,
which is
and
very high, yeah, for here. Yeah.
that whole area, like the Green Valley Lake Crestline area, is really rugged terrain. So um, I've been multiple times up to that area just for a cabin, stay in the wintertime with my family, my wife and kids, and yeah, just even getting around the block up there is definitely strenuous. So I can only imagine that lends itself to hiding whatever type of species of animals is up in there. It's just hard to get to.
Yeah, there's I know when they were up there, and I looked at some of the areas, and you know, we did an actual investigation on the other side of that, and that's where there was a sighting as near as 2016, by Silverwood Lake. That
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it's by the Pacific Coast Trail, and that was actually a Class A sighting. But that's kind of on the other side. So they probably roam up, feeding into the higher elevations, and then maybe come down when it gets colder, up top, which I think is pretty normal.
I think any type of species of animal or whatever definitely moves with the seasons, and whether you're talking about deer or predators, whatever it might be, I would agree with that. And it's just the terrain, like you said, that terrain there is just Silverwood or in the backside of Crestline, and even just getting up to that area is not for the faint of heart. So definitely worth putting on the list for investigations and for places to go.
Definitely. Well, okay, John, what was the next one you want to talk about?
Yeah, so along those same lines, we came across a clip of a girl filming a supposed Bigfoot chasing her down a trail. A very short clip that's hard to make out when you watch it in real time. I mean, you could make it out, but once the film is stabilized and enhanced, it's one of those sightings that's hard to wrap your brain around again. When you watch it, it's, for me, in my mind, it's definitely one of those clips that you run across that to me is legitimate. And it's very short and hard to make out, but once you get it stabilized, it's a lot easier to see. So to me, I hate going off of feeling because we're based off of truth and evidence, but this is one of those clips of evidence to me that one day will lend to the pile of proof that that these Bigfoot, Sasquatch, booger, whatever you want to call them, actually exist. Because to me, looking at this, it's looking at the gait and the stride and the way it's going. It's just hard to even debunk a hoax on this.
Right.
So
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Bigfoot crap pile.
well, I wouldn't want to run into that either. So a skunk ape pile, right?
Of evidence or not. No,
Freudian,
man.
Freudian slip, right?
Yeah, no. I'm running it now, and yeah, this seems legit to me. It's just because the panic of the footage, like it's believable from the standpoint like whoever was filming it saw it and then panicked and took off. Well, I guess it was a kid or something, right?
Yeah,
And
I get like an 8 or 9 year old girl from what
yeah,
I've read.
uh-huh. Because, if you saw that thing and you start, I mean, more power to her that she even held I guess it was her phone or whatever, on the, on this thing, this massive, probably 7 to 8 foot, and it looks bipedal. It looks like the size of a squatch, and it's moving quick. That's the thing. Like, a human can't move that quick. I'd
No,
love to
and
see Bigfoot Tony or what's his name, who's back on the game
Your
now.
Thunker.
Thank you, Thinker Thunker, break this
Yeah,
down. Yeah, it might be a little too
yeah, I would
fuzzy for him, but
absolutely love
yeah,
that.
yeah. Which I think it's pretty real. It says it's published April 6th of 2018.
Yeah, it is fairly recent. So, and another one that I don't think we have in the playlist yet, but we'll put it up there. That uh, Thinker Thunker he recently published as well. Just getting back in the game was uh, basically it's along the same lines. It's a shorter clip, but it's a clip of these group of guys. They're a logging company and community. I believe it was in Alabama or Georgia, I want to say, and it shows this picture of something tossing a good sized sapling up into the air and over kind of a berm hill area. Um, and I forgot to mention that before we started the episode here for part one, but
Yeah.
we'll add that one too because it's right along the same lines, and it's great to see Thinker Thunker back and him doing his thing. And but hopefully we can get him to take a look, or at least entice him and encourage him to take a look at this one with a girl filming it. And then, like you said, man, more power to that girl. I wouldn't have had the wherewithal to stand there and film it even for a second. So
Right. That is true. Yeah, we can include it on part two. That's our plan. There's so much to cover here, kind of like we did with the UFO stuff, guys, which will be coming around again as it builds up too. By the
oh my
way,
gosh,
if you're
yeah.
new to the channel, please like, subscribe, whatever you got to do there. It helps us a little bit, whatever. But if you go to our playlists, that's what we're talking from, and so that you can get up to speed, somewhat, and then once we come back around and talk about it, you can kind of know what we're talking about, and we
Yep.
we try and replay them as we go too, as we're talking. But like the next one, I don't think is in the playlist, but we'll add it later. You want to talk to that one, John?
Yeah. Remind me which. Oh no.
The
Okay.
Scott
Yes, I
Carpenter.
remember. So see, it's so hard. It's a hard. I mean, we're still trying to keep up on. There's so much coming and going. So
Right.
with Scott Carpenter, and you actually turned me on to these documented videos of his, and these are more recent than not. But basically, he is of the school of thought that Sasquatch is able to cloak himself, and I hate to use that term, but and so does Scott Carpenter. But that's really what he really is getting at with these videos. Basically, he's got a couple different documented clips where he's actually at a later point in time been able to look at the video and get still shots of forms of figures and actual faces in his footage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm playing that one now.
Which is, I mean, to me, uh, when I saw that, when you turned me onto that first one the first time, I just that was one of those ones that makes you stop, think, and freeze.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure how I if I subscribe to the whole cloaking idea and how that actually works, but man, looking at that and as we're playing it, I can't see how it wouldn't cause anybody to pause and think.
Right, right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely that was my first thoughts. First and foremost, I think Scott Carpenter is a real legitimate guy. He just,
So do I.
I mean, yeah, it looks like okay. Now he just recently did add, um, ads to his videos, but for a long time he didn't. And he just, and matter of fact, Les Stroud was down there with Scott. Uh, so I think Les is pretty stand-up guy, and um, he kind of, I think he feels the same that
Yep.
that
Yeah.
I think some people look at Scott's material and they're kind of like, well, dude, he's just trying to. He could look at any bush and see a Bigfoot, but it's not
Yeah.
really about that because, especially this one, it's called White Peaking Bigfoot, and we'll add it to the playlist. It'll be at the top basically. Um, but it's just. I think this is the same one you're talking about, John. Is the he's got because he figured out to have a trail, basically a camera pointing to the back of him when he walks
Yep.
out of the. I think it's the Smoky Mountain National Forest Reserve down there,
Yeah.
in Tennessee. And and you can clearly, even before he outlines this thing, you can see
Oh, you
what
can see
looks
it.
like something.
It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
evident.
So if you believe in cloaking or not, which our channel is kind of the thought process that when there's a UFO around at times, there's Bigfoots around. And it's just something that we've noticed, and it may or may not be alien related. We don't know, but we're just bringing it to light. And this may be, who knows what? Who knows the reason they can cloak? That's the thing. Do they are they able to cloak only at certain times? Are they able to not cloak? That's the question.
Yeah.
Or when UFOs are in the area, because many times orbs are described, before people see one. And actually, John, we'll talk about it next week, but there's a UFO in that Russian footage that's going to be shown next week that they never even talked about. That's right before they showed, um, this Bigfoot walking through the snow. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you know what? That just brings it back to the point. We don't know exactly how, what, when, or why, but it's the research shows that it's a regular, consistent thing with the connection between orbs and or UFOs and Sasquatch and or Bigfoot. So
right.
it's not talked about a lot. There's a lot of possibilities of what both could be, but here again, this is we're seeking the truth in both of these areas and in research, and this is just what we're finding, and a lot of people are bringing to light, including ourselves. And yeah, we're just excited about the community grabbing hold of this stuff like you guys. So um, yeah, we just leave your comments below, subscribe, and just be a part of that community, because that's actually what we're really after here. It's not views, but community and like-minded individuals, and that whole thought process. So
Right. Well put. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
I've
that's
been reading a lot about um, the missing 411, and we've talked about David Paulides before, um, government installations, and this most intriguing video that the research and the story and history behind the Russian sightings. Um,
right.
so there's a lot that goes into that, but just as kind of a teaser for everybody out there, there's been research and DNA studies and lots of scientific evidence that backs up this Russian Bigfoot claim and story. So tune in next time to catch that, because there's a lot of more digging that we want to do to present it to you guys, because it's well worth the time put in, and yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah. 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 Thanks for watching, guys. Also on our channel, we have John mentioned the David Pilati, type missing person stuff, which is sad, and But it's same time, it's we all have kids and families and all that, and it's important to stay aware, especially if you're going out in the woods. And we actually have a playlist. We're big on playlists, as you can tell, um, called Random File, and it's we're just starting to build a collection of just kind of oddball stuff that doesn't necessarily fit into UFO or Bigfoot or
Right,
um,
right.
and some of those are now check it out too because and subscribe. We're including some of the there's David Pilates, but there's now some other people, starting to track these.
Yep,
Sadly, there's so many missing people, especially in the national park system, which summer's coming. There's
yep.
sadly going to be more. So if you go
Plan.
out somewhere, go in a group at least. Don't go alone. It seems,
Watch those kiddos.
yeah, definitely, and it seems like there's a running theme that
Yeah,
they go out alone, and not all. Some are accounted for, or their bodies are found or whatever. At least they can account for them. Some aren't, and
right. Well, and
what
that's
is that? Yeah.
that's kind of the connection that it might sound random when I say Bigfoot, missing persons, and government installations all together. So just as a little more of a teaser, there's definitely some research that I've been doing that I want to share with how those three all connect in my mind and through different things. So we're gonna definitely have a lot of digging to do, but it's just exciting stuff to look at and come back and talk to you guys and see what you think because um, like we said, we don't do this every week, but when we come back there's a lot of stuff to go through and just excited about the part two and the next go around.
Right. Yep. Thanks, John. I'm Brad. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, we don't do these regular, but when there's something to talk about, we'll come out. Part two will be we pretty much know already, but if there's quite a bit of activity in any of these areas we discussed, we'll do another one. So just keep looking for them. And thanks again for watching. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yep, you guys stay safe and take care.
Take care.